Guess I just had to deal with having part of my head cut off. Good go. Hello, Mr. Higgins. Today is my official start day, or the official start day for my Senior May project. It is Wednesday, May 11th. No, Tuesday, May 11th. And today I went to the College of Communication Arts and Sciences at MSU, where I met with Dr. John Sherry, who is a teacher in the Department of Communications. I met him at 9 a.m. in the South Lobby, and the first thing we did was drop our stuff off in his room, and then we took a tour of the whole building. There's like a 5-floor building. The first 2 floors are mostly classrooms, and WKAR, the local TV station, takes up a huge section of the building. It's like one of the primary components of the building. And then floors 3 through 5 are a few more research labs, instruction rooms, but mostly it's offices and faculty space. His office is on the 5th floor, and so after the tour, we spent a few minutes chatting, and then we talked about project details. He gave me the key to his office so that I can come in whenever I want, basically. He's not really focusing as much on my hours. It's more about the project work and how well the project was completed. And so I have a lot of flexibility in terms of my hours and schedule. I'm doing mostly animation work, and some selecting images. What I'm basically doing is I'm creating a digital textbook for his class. He teaches a course in audience responses to media, something like that. And this year he's supposed to start teaching more of the class online, so he has to create a digital textbook. We're going to be using iBooks Author, which is a Mac application, to do most of the work, and he's typing up most of it, but I'm going to help a bit with that. But most of what I'm doing is I'm animating parts of the textbook, and adding images and working on the layout and such. But animation is going to take up the brunt of my time. So after we talked about the project details, we talked about, or he showed me, he has PowerPoint presentation that he uses for his class, and it's like a 90 slide presentation, but he goes through 10 or so slides a day or a week, so it's actually a pretty good way a pretty efficient way of using PowerPoint presentations in your class. But we went through the entire thing, and he talked about the different subjects, or the different areas of the course, and all the material, and he just gave me a rough overline, or a rough overview outline of what it is he teaches. So now I have a sense of what's going to go into the textbook, and while we were going through that, we also talked about pointed out to slides and say this would make a good animation, or this would make a good video to input. This would work best as a drawing. So that ended, and all of that ended around 11:45. And then he left for lunch, and he basically left me alone in his office to do whatever I wanted with regards to the project. So I had a quick lunch, and then I started working around noon, a little before noon, and I was working until 5. And for the first maybe 3 or 4 hours of that time, I was working on the animations of the brain. And I was trying to animate parts of the brain that tie into the course, and it was very, very difficult because I don't have very much animation experience. And what I was planning on doing was downloading. They have brain packs online, and so you could just put them into the software you're using. Put them into the application, and then go from there. So I'd skip quite a few steps. But none of the packs I was downloading were working, and so I looked online for how to make a brain using these different softwares. And I tried a lot of softwares, but I use Maya primarily, and it's very difficult, so I'm gonna have a go at it tonight and tomorrow. So after I I was like, okay, maybe I should just let this rest for the day, because I had a few other projects I wanted to start working on. One of them was related to semantic networks. Yeah, semantic networks, which are basically just a network of different ideas, all related to each other. It's just it's a graphical representation of the relationships between concepts. And that's a big part of the course, and so I started making an animation, although that's basically turning into a video project, an animated video, because I'm going to overlay audio into the video track. Of my voice just talking about what semantic networks are and walking through the audio and explaining it bit by bit. And the reason we thought that the semantic networks would make a good animation or video is because when you look at a total semantic network in its entirety, it can look pretty overwhelming because there's so many different parts to it. But when you break it down bit by bit, it's a really fascinating concept and it's a very helpful tool to use. So basically for the animation I'm doing, we're starting with one word, and in this animation it's going to be school. And then we're tying that into 3 different ideas just to start out with: homework, bus, and student. And then from there, like from bus, we're going to like yellow, smelly, transportation. And then we'll take something like yellow and take it to rainbow, red, and banana, or something like that. So we're just sort of mapping out these different ideas. And that's going to tie in more broadly to the network on learning and stereotypes, and how directors and people who are controlling media and producers will make choices based on, like, they know how people form relationships in their head between different ideas, and they know what are the most prominent relationships, stereotypes. Bye, Mr. Higgins.